Hey everybody, my name is Erica and today I'm going to be giving you my April wrap-up. Alright, so this is probably going to be a little bit shorter than usual, I guess, because I only read 4 books in the month of April. I was struggling. You'll find out why kind of towards the end. So let's just get right into it. The first book I finished in April was The Son of Neptune by Riordan. This book is the second book in the Heroes of Olympus series, which is like a kind of in between of like middle grade and YA, I feel like, but mostly middle grade. I was not a huge fan of The Lost Hero, which is the first book, but I want to continue through the series, of course. You know, I want to finally get it read since it's been on my TBR for years. And The Son of Neptune was a little bit better, I guess. We do follow Percy Jackson in this book, which is like exciting since, you know, everyone loves the Percy Jackson series. I'm just kind of indifferent because, I mean, I liked those books, but I was never like really that into them. But we're following Percy Jackson, who's kind of in the same predicament that we had Jason in the first book. So Percy has lost his memories and the only person he really remembers is Annabeth. But he winds up at the other Half-Blood camp, which is Camp Jupiter. So that is based on the Roman aspects of the gods and not the Greek aspects. These kids never knew that there was another Half-Blood camp. He doesn't really know what's going on, but he winds up at that camp and he has to go on this quest to sort of retrieve his memories, but also they're trying to like take down these giants that are coming back to life and all of this stuff. You know, it's kind of basically the same story that we get in the first book, and then it's just like a little bit different. I mean, we meet a lot of monsters and all of that. I mean, I'm just not really a fan of this series. I'm just not really a fan of the characters. I think I like them a little better than the first set, but I also really did like seeing some familiar faces or like getting familiar names from the Percy Jackson series. I just have a hard time getting into it, but I did finish that book because I want to finish the series finally. So I've been trying to do like at least one a month for these next few months. The next book I finished was actually a novella, and that was Fireheart Tiger. This book, I did not realize it was a novella. I never actually looked at how many pages were in it, but it was on my anticipated releases for 2021. And I really liked this novella, and I was really sad that it was so short. I was hoping we'd get more. Maybe she'll write like a full length for these characters. I have no idea. But this book follows this girl named Princess Dawn. She was sent to this other like country called Epteria, and she was sent there as like a hostage for all these years, and now she's back and like working with her mom. She's being haunted by this fire that consumed the palace at Epteria, and it's like coming up in her dreams and just like following her around, and she just doesn't really understand what it is and like why it's haunting her. Meanwhile, she's also kind of being haunted by her first lover, and that is Eldris. Eldris is back and trying to get more from Dawn than she can offer, and Dawn believes that this love that Eldris has for her is true and pure and that it's real, but there are a lot of dark secrets revealed in this and that maybe things aren't quite as they seem. Dawn ends up meeting someone else who really kind of changes her past and like what she believed and what she can see with love and everything. I'm not explaining it very well, but basically Eldris comes back and like wants to make this alliance, and Dawn has to make this decision that if she weds Eldris, then like maybe it'll make her kingdom like safer and more secure, but also she has to do what's best for her, and maybe Eldris has other motives in mind and isn't as truthful and loving as she says she is. It's pretty dark, and you kind of get a lot in just such a short amount of pages. Like I think it was only 100 pages, but it's beautifully written. I really liked the sapphic romance in it, of course, and I definitely want more from this world and these characters. I'm not sure if she'll write more for it, but it's so beautifully done, and I just really like the storyline and the concept, and of course everything about it was really beautifully done, and it definitely took a different route than I was expecting, so I'm hoping we get more, but if not, I mean, I really appreciated this novella in all of its beauty. The next book I finished was one that was also on my anticipated releases for 2021, and this one I was so excited to read, and that is Sweet and Bitter Magic by Adrian and Tully. In this book, we're following 2 girls. The first is Tamsin. She is a witch, but she was banished from the Witchlands many years before because she committed a really horrible crime using dark magic, and it's left her cursed with the inability to love. So they took away her love and she has to take it from other people. So basically when people like in the village come to Tamsin for like healing or just anything that witches can do, Tamsin asks for repayment with their love. So in the beginning we have a woman who is trying to cure her baby, and to repay that, Tamsin asks for the love for her other daughter. but the mom ends up giving her the love for her husband instead. So it's just very sad that people have to get rid of their love, and Tamsin can only hold on to it for a short amount of time, and it uses up pretty quickly, so she's constantly needing to get repayment and get more love inside of her. She's able to kind of control when she's using it and when she isn't. She can't really appreciate things in everyday life that we appreciate, like the beauty of a sunrise and sunset, or just like the taste of food. Like, you think that would just be like normal things, but it's like stuff that you kind of love, so she can't really appreciate it in a full and meaningful way like we could. So we also follow the character of Ren, and she has been literally like living her life supporting and taking care of her father, who's been very ill as of late. Especially there's this plague coming around that is caused by dark magic. Her dad ends up catching this plague, and then he kind of forgets who she is. Like, he is suddenly like better physically, sort of, but mentally he's just not really himself. He doesn't remember who Ren is, and that really hurts her. So she goes to Tamsin to seek help in how to end this plague. In order for Tamsin to help Ren, Ren has to pay Tamsin with the love for her father. So it's like this vicious cycle of Ren doing this to take care of her father because she loves him, but also having to get rid of her love in order to pay Tamsin. So Ren is the source of magic. She is just like made of magic, basically. So it makes Tamsin's magic more powerful. Ren can't do magic, but when Tamsin uses her and like holds on to her, her magic is stronger, and it's like a really rare thing to have that. So Tamsin kind of realizes as her and Ren are on this journey that her love has been kind of coming back while she's around Ren. She starts to see things in a different way and like start to appreciate things and have more feelings inside of her than darkness. So they really kind of start to need each other on this journey and find a love for one another, which is crazy because we're like losing love but gaining love at the same time. I really did enjoy this book. My biggest complaint was that I felt like the stakes weren't high enough. I just feel like the dad losing his memory, like forgetting who his daughter is, kind of takes away the stakes of Ren like giving up her love. But we also don't even really lose all her love. It's just kind of confusing. I don't want to spoil anything, but I did really like this book. I loved the sapphic romance, of course, and it's very slow burn. You don't really get a lot of stuff until the end, mostly not even then. I thought it was such a cool concept, and I really liked the world. I definitely want to get more from it. I can't wait to see where the story goes, and like more about the witchlands and the characters and just the magic system and whatnot. I really enjoyed it. I definitely just didn't feel like the stakes were high enough for some reason. Like, I just felt like things were happening and it's like, oh, that was kind of an easy way out, if that makes sense. But I did really like this book, and I really am looking forward to seeing what comes next. Alright, the last book that I read in the month of April is basically what kind of put me in a reading slump, and I feel so sad for saying that, and that was Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. Okay, I had a really hard time with Gideon the Ninth. I don't know if you remember me talking about it. It's a little confusing, like the plot's kind of confusing, but I love the writing of it so much, and I love that it's so unique and descriptive and just very dark, but also there's such great humor and banter in these books. So Harrow the Ninth is the sequel, of course, to Gideon the Ninth. Oh, if you haven't read Gideon the Ninth, I'd kind of brush past this a little bit, but we're following Harrow after everything happened in Gideon the Ninth, and she is working for the Emperor on his ship, and the ship is haunted, and Harrow is very haunted. She is up against her rival on this ship, and she has to survive while also trying to get stronger, but it just seems like everything's out to get her, and she's very sick just from like holding her sword. She doesn't really know what's happening to her, and then there is someone trying to kill her. She doesn't know if she'd be better off dead on this mission and everything. She's just trying to survive this and figure out what is wrong with like her memories and everything. Like, things are just not quite as they should be, she realizes. I am not even sure what all to say about this book. It was very slow going. I literally did not start enjoying it till probably the end, because I had no idea what was happening. Everything is very confusing and nothing is as it seems. You don't really know what's going on, I feel like, unless I just am dumb, because I was very confused throughout this entire book. We do have a second person point of view, which threw me, but you do understand why at the end, and probably like halfway through. I did have to kind of Google a little bit about this book because I was just so lost as to what was happening. So I guess I kind of spoiled it a little bit for myself, but not completely. But I really love the writing. I gave it 4 to 5 stars, and I love the writing so much, and I want to keep going with this trilogy. There's only one more book. I think before the last one I will definitely reread the first 2, because it's just like, it's a lot. Like, there's a lot to the world and the characters and just the storyline in general. I feel like the plot is just kind of all over the place, So I definitely had a hard time with it, but I don't know, I'm just having a really difficult time reading now. I don't know what I feel like reading. Yeah, but I finished it and it took me quite a while. I wanted to read at least one more book in April, but I didn't get to it because I was just kind of stuck on Harrow the Ninth, and I really want to love this series. Like, I've only ever seen like 4 and 5-star ratings for these books, but I just have such a hard time like reading them. I definitely liked Getting in the Ninth better because I just felt like I had a better understanding for what was happening. Harrow the Ninth is definitely just like takes you on a whirlwind journey, but it is really well written, so that's what kind of keeps me going. Overall, I feel like April was a decent reading month. I read a lot of sapphic books, but I didn't read as much as I had hoped to read this past month. Hopefully May is a little better. Anyway, that is all I have for you today. If you like this video, be sure to give it a nice little thumbs up. If you want to keep following me on this booktube journey, please subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ErikaAGobble. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you soon in another video. Bye!